It's recording. Look at that, magic. So I've just added a couple of random polygons. They're not correct, so don't try and, well, I mean, you can copy it if you want, but it'll be wrong. I've just added a couple of different habitats on here. So which ones have you got? Let's have a look. So I can use my eye tool here. I've got a 1.1.2, which if you have your book in front of you, you'll find out is it's gone. Broadleaf plantation. Broadleaf plantation, and the symbol for that, if you look in your book, is a green stripes, diagonal stripes. But you know, sorry. I've got, obviously, this is the first one we put in, which is J1.2, which is amenity grassland. I've got A2.1, which is one of the scrubs, and A2.2, which is the other one. 2.1 is continuous, dense. 2.2 is scattered. I've also got here a 3.1, which is parkland, scattered trees, broadleaf. Sorry, I got a cup of tea here, as I'm sure you'll be well aware. I'm from Yorkshire, and this is the best tea in the world. So if you're looking for a brand of tea, Yorkshire tea is the one to go for. Other brands of tea are available, but they're all rubbish. Right, so we've got our different layers. Now, if we look at our attribute table, so this is the bit, if you remember first video, this is that bit we set up here. Let's look at our attribute table. So we right click, open the attribute table. Ooh, hello, it's gone. Oh, it's down here. There you are. Come back, you naughty little thing. Open our attribute table. This is the different values we've got. So we've got, this is our first one we created. What's that? The one over there. And if you click on it, it'll highlight it in the main map window, so we can see which one it is. And as well, if you've screwed one up, so let's say this one here is actually supposed to be B3.1, which isn't a thing, that doesn't exist. B3.1, there, and it's already changed. It's not though, it's A. Let's change it back. Done. If you've ever made any changes in here, there's a save button in here, which is handy, but it's the same button as that one there, so choose whichever one you want. I like this one because it's nearer. Save. So that's the attribute table. Close that. Have a cup of tea. How do we give them all different styles? As you know, in your Phase 1 Habitat Manual, there are different styles. Oh, there is actually a B3.1, I've just found out. There it is there. Unimproved calcareous grassland. Now you know. Sorry, it's a bit weird. I got the webcam's putting the picture over there, so if I'm trying to like hello, then I look at the picture, but obviously you're there. So hello. Hello. That was creepy. That was creepy. Anyway, you've obviously got your Phase 1 handbook, the one I gave you. If you've lost it or destroyed it intentionally, you can find it online. Just Google JNCC Phase 1 handbook or something. Phase 1 handbook will probably pick it up. Near the end are the Phase 1 classes, colours, whatever you want to call them. And this is where you're going to get your information on what colours and what shapes each habitat class should be like. So your final Phase 1 map that you hand in, the colours on it need to match, the patterns and the colours need to match what's in here, or I'm going to knock marks off because I'm, well, I would say I'm mean, but that's just accuracy. So our first habitat, which one should we look at? I guess we start alphabetically. The first one is what is it? A112, which is, if we look in here, it's plantation there. So to change these styles, we first right click on the layer, so right click up here, properties, and while it's loading you take a sip of tea. Now ignore this lot here because I've made all these personally and I've saved them so I can use them automatically and easily again. You guys aren't going to have them obviously because you haven't made them. So we need to, well, okay, let me show you something first. If we change the style in here, so what was it, let's just call it green for now. If we change the colour to green, and then OK, it changes everything to the same colour, which is obviously not what we want. Sorry, I didn't explain what I just did then. This one here was selected because I'd clicked on it in the attribute table. When it's selected, it's bright yellow, hence why it's yellow there. If you don't want it yellow, click this little button here, which unselects it. There you go, unselected. Where was I? Oh yeah, it's all green, despite whatever habitat class is supposed to be, which isn't really what we want. If everything was the same, like you were showing all of the SSSIs or some other layer, you might want everything to be the same colour. In this case we don't, we want every different class to be different. So let's go back on the style properties. So they're all the same because here it's set to single symbol. So every single object has a single colour. What other options we got? We've got no symbol. Well, that's obviously not what we want. No symbols will just hide everything. Single symbol, which is what we're on. Categorized, graduated, rule-based, boring ones. Now, categorized gives every different thing, every different habitat that you've got, it'll give it a different colour. This is ideal for what we want, but just for the purposes of argument, let's pretend it isn't. Graduated, this runs the colours on a scale, so it'll start maybe green, run up to red on the other end. And that's good for numeric things, so if you've got something like area or tree trunk size, tree height, graduated is quite a good one. It only works with numbers though. So for this one, we want categorized because we're categorizing the colours based on what the phase 1 class is. Make sense? Probably not. Trust me, categorized. Column here is which column in our table are we going to use for the categories. So which one has the information on what the different things are. In this case, it's the phase 1 habitat class. That's the only column we've got, so it's not going to give us any others. But if we had other ones, you'd have to select which one you want it from here. So phase 1 class. When you've done that, press classify down here. Classify adds all of the different classes that we've got, all the different categories. And here are the ones that we've got. If we apply and OK, you'll now see they've all got different random colours. And if we were to add something else, let's call this improved B4. If you add something else with a different code, it comes under this one here, the blank one, because that means it's not in our list. Before you go into styles, always make sure you save. So how do we add that one to our list, B5? We go back in here to styles, properties, styles here. And it's obviously not on our list. We can either do it manually by clicking on the plus and typing in here B5, get rid of that, or you just press classify again and it'll just add whatever hasn't been put in the table already. It'll add it at the bottom. So there's B5, there's the one we just added. Hello, that's B4. Never mind. Alright, how do we give each one a different colour? A112, which if we look in here is green stripy. How do we make that from weird turquoise to green stripy? I will show you. Watch and learn. So, double click on the little square with the colour in and it'll bring up this symbol selector box. On the computers in school, in college, annoyingly the box is tiny, small like this. It's really annoying. Let's make it bigger because we can see everything then. That's better. So we want stripy pattern like this one here. obviously I've already got it, so I'm just showing you here. We're going to do it from scratch. So this is our blank colour. Actually, that wasn't how it was it? It was like purple or something. Oh. Sorry, I'm just trying to pretend that I haven't changed anything. There we go. This is the random colour it's given us to start with. Strange dark green. We want green stripy. So to start off, we go down here, simple fill. And in fill, we change that to the colour that we want, which is a dark green. If you stick to the colours in the recent colours, or just choose one colour and add it to your little palette here, you can make sure you have the same colour representing green throughout all of your layers. Let me show you. If I just if I choose a slightly lighter green than that, do that and then go there, it adds it to this little palette here by clicking this button. So then next time if we want a green, we can just come in here and click on that one and it'll be the same green for each of the ones that says green. So like here's green, here's green. This is different, this is true green, which is lighter. Green over true green, we'd obviously want the same green for those points. So by doing that, we just make sure we got the same colour green, because there's lots of different greens on there. Okay, the colour is set, but it's solid, which is not the right one. Where it says fill style, you can switch that over to diagonal. There's two different ones, backwards diagonal or forwards diagonal. The one we want is diagonal going, ooh, no, the webcam's reversed, so that way. Which one's that? That one. Backward diagonal. And that's the correct looking pattern. That looks similar to that one there. Does to me. Okay. And now you can see there, in the little symbol, it's the correct one. If we look on the map, that looks correct. Good. That's part one done. Let's have a look again. Properties. A2.1. So A2.1 is dense continuous scrub. So that's green. It's the same green. So now we saved the green from before, so we can use it again. Green like crosshatch. So let's double click on the little coloured square. Simple fill. Switch that to our green that we had before. So let's open that. There's our green. It's in the little box where we left it. Okay. Solid green, not what we want. Click on here. What we've got here, diagonal X, which is crosshatch. Perfect. There is our dense scrub. Done. How does it look? It looks like dense scrub. Nice. Back in here again. What's the next one? A2.2. So 2.2 is, it's like little green crosses on a blank background or a clear see-through background, transparent. So A22, let's go on that one then. So first let's set the colour, use our nice green that we've got. Now, we don't want a solid simple fill, we want little crosses all across the map, well all across the area we want it in. So instead of simple fill, we go down here where it says simple fill and we change it to a point pattern fill, because what we want is lots of different little crosses all along the map, and crosses we're going to represent with a point. The point pattern fill, it's added in a simple point, simple marker. So let's click on that. And down at the bottom, if your screen's tiny and you haven't resized it, if yours looks like that, you can scroll down there like that. Down at the bottom is a cross. And there's a little cross there, but it's black. We don't want a black cross, we want a green one. So where it says outline here, click on that, green. Okay, now it's a green cross. Perfect. There's something that's a bit of a problem here. If we apply OK, the area that was A22 is this little area down here, and I can't see anything in there. I don't know if you can. That's because all of these crosses are spread out really far. They're spread out too far, so none of them are actually in that little polygon that we've got. So we can bring them in a bit closer, make a bit more dense in terms of crosses. And to do that, we go here where it says Point Pattern Fill, click there, and change the horizontal distance. If I change this down low, like 5, you'll see on our little preview, those crosses are now much closer together. That's horizontal, vertical to 5 as well. There's now little crosses all over the box. Let's OK on that and see what it looks like. I still can't see it. Ah, they are there, they are there. There, you can see it without the background because the background's green. So, nice little crosses. That looks somewhat similar to that one. Job well done, I think, for that one. Just like that, it looks like some sort of art from the 80s. Anyway, back with our background. Cup of tea. What's up next? A3.1. What does A3.1 look like? Ah, back to green again. I'm glad we saved it. We're using this green a lot. So it's little green spots. So it's similar to this one, where we've got the green crosses, but we've got green dots instead. So A3.1. How did we get the green crosses? We went to Simple Fill. We switched it from Simple Fill to Point Pattern Fill, which gave us red little blobs. Simple marker. We don't want red ones, we want green ones. Now at the minute they've still got a black border around the edge. That's because the outline is set to black, so we can set that to green as well. Now it's a solid green blob. Okay. Again, we can't really see it because the green is similar to the background. So if we switch it off, you can see it there, and there's a few, but it's a similar sort of problem that we had with A22. The dots are just too spread out. So how do we change that? Oh, I didn't explain this, did I? If you double click on the little coloured square here, you get back into the style menu. So like that gets you straight back into that style menu. How do we get them more dense? We go on Point Pattern Fill. We change that horizontal distance to a smaller number. I'm going to choose 5 because I like 5. You choose whatever you think looks right. Okay. Now that's looking a bit more populated. There's a little more dots in there, aren't there? There's one thing we need to do actually for both A22 and A31, and that is put something around the edge. If you notice these ones, there's a line around the edge which shows you where that thing ends, whereas for the scattered parkland and the scattered scrub, it's difficult to tell where it ends. So let's go back to A22. And what we need to do, we need to add another layer to this colour. So we use this little plus here, and it just adds another symbol layer. It's added a blue one, which at the minute is covering everything. We can manipulate this a little bit for something like, let's say this one, Marshy Grassland, which is purple over orange. We'd want a orange background with purple stripes. We know how to get stripes now because we did it for A112. But how would we get that background behind it? We've added one here, but it's on top. How do we get it behind? We use these arrows here, and these move that layer up and down. If it's further down, it's going to be behind everything else. If it's further up, it's going to be on top of everything else. So we move our Simple Fill down. Oh, that's a hideous colour. Now we've got our Simple Fill behind, and we've got our points on top. So we can see, like that, you can see those points on top of the blue background. And it looks truly disgusting. That's because it shouldn't be a blue background, it should be a transparent background. So let's change that colour, the fill colour, to transparent. Drag the opacity down to 0. Okay. Now all that's left behind is the border. So we've got now a nice black border around our crosses. How does that look? It looks like you can now tell where the edge of the habitat is. So how do we do that? Let's try it again with A3.1. Open that. We added a new layer, new style layer. We moved it to the bottom. And we got rid of that coloured fill, so we made it invisible. Okay. And now you can tell where the edge of that habitat is. What's our next habitat then? J1.2. So J1.2, what is your colour? Canary yellow with an A in the middle. J1.2. So let's first make that canary yellow. I think there's one here. There it is. Ooh. So that's our solid yellow background, but how do we put an A in there? Well, like we added our background for the other one, we add a new symbol layer with this one. Now A, it's not a simple fill, is it? It's a letter. So we go here, where it's a simple fill, and we use a point pattern fill. Slightly, well, it's not obvious, is it? Point pattern fill. Is a symbol, is a letter a point? Not technically, but we make it one. Point pattern fill, anyway. Where it says simple marker, click on that and change it from simple marker to font marker. This is where it gets into letters. Font marker. Now, down at the bottom is a little alphabet, and you can choose what letter you want. This is an A, so find A. Oh, it's there. And the fill colour is red, so it's a little red A. It's supposed to be a black A, so click on that, change to black. It's also a little bit small. Here's size, we can change the size. Let's try 5. How does that look? Looks alright. Okay. And there we've got our yellow background with our letter A all around it. So that is J1.2. What's B4 then? B4. Improved grassland. So this is similar to our J1.2. This has got a letter in it. Unlike J1.2, it's got a clear, transparent background. So let's go B4, open the styles of that. Simple fill. Let's get rid of that green background, let's make it transparent. And then we want to add our letters. So I've clicked plus, simple fill, switch that to point pattern fill. Instead of a simple marker, we use a font marker. We want the letter I. I. And then we change the colour to black. And it's so small I can't see it, so let's put that up a bit. I like 5, it's a nice round number. And there we go. There is our improved grassland area. Let's pop the background on so we can see it all. Looks lovely, I think. So that's how you add the colours and the styles to our Phase 1 polygons.